Doing good. Doing good.
Good. King David, how are you always like the first one here? Like always the first one here.
What
You
did I
know,
tell you the first day? What did I tell you?
you did. You did. You absolutely did. You did let us know that it was going to be you. Wasn't nobody going to outwork you. You did let us know that. You sure did. I cannot take that away from you. Y'all could go ahead and let the family know in the chat that we are live. We just had to actually wait to get started to let hold on, let me start letting these people in.
My partner Randy's right there too. He's putting in work. He's always here too.
King Randy. I thought King Randy be like he'd be like, forget them Sunday calls. They ain't helping me get to the bag. I got time for that. What's going on, King Randy?
Be on.
You be on these Sundays calls?
Yeah, I'll be on.
Okay. How you doing, King?
I'm all good. Thanks,
Good.
great.
Absolutely. Queen Ebony, how you doing?
Good. How are you today?
I'm good, love. Still trying to get better, but I'm good.
You sounded better.
Yeah, look, somebody found my voice and is trying to bring it back to me. The rest of it ain't all the way here yet, but it's coming back.
Okay. All right.
It's
That's
just nice.
good.
It's nice to be able to talk again. I was completely out of it. I'm coming to though. I'm
glad you had better.
I'm not contagious. I don't have COVID or nothing like that. It's all good, family. So don't be. I can't give y'all nothing through the computer. So y'all away from me. Don't y'all run away from me now. I just want to know that it is okay. I am not contagious. I'm still just trying to get better. This one has not been nice to me.
One day at a time.
That's it. Like that's it. That's all we got, right? One day.
Yep.
I need to change this background because we are not on Love Plus. While we're waiting, I'm gonna give this a couple more minutes because they did drop the link late. I do want to send some love and light out to our Sean, our King Sean Harlem, who lost his mother this week. So I'm not sure if you can hear me, King, but I do want to send some love and light out to you, King.
Thank you so much, Sunshine. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Ooh, y'all. I don't know what this is, but it ain't nothing nice. All right. So I'll just continue to let people come in as they do. However, we're going to go ahead and get started. I apologize for last week. I was actually working the Invest Fest, so it was going to be nearly impossible to do this call and that at the same time. The week prior, I was at another event, but I actually just went in the car to make sure that we at least had this call. And at that time, we were talking about letting go and forgiveness. But before we get into that, y'all, I need all the energy that y'all have in y'all to give up. So y'all know how we start these calls off. It's a lot of cameras not on. I don't know who I'm talking to in here. It's a lot of people with their cameras off. Y'all pictures is cute though. I will say that. Nikki, you got a cute picture. Who is that? Sabrina on her way in here. Let's go. Kara, my darling Queen Kara.
I'm at brunch right now, Sunshine. Yeah. I just saw the. I'm brunching. You see me? I'm brunching right now.
At brunch at 7:00 in the evening. Am I missing something, y'all?
This is New York brunch. You know, in Atlanta, we love brunching. Just saying.
You are a mess. I love it. Queen Naima, how are you, love? All right, y'all. Let's unmute. Let's get this show on the road. Let's show each other and yourselves some love. Let's give it up, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I can't hear y'all. Where y'all at?
Let's go. Let's go.
Go,
Let's
Let's
go.
go, let's
Where y'all
go,
at?
let's
Where
go,
y'all at?
let's go. Hey,
Get it.
Let's
Bruce,
go.
let's go.
Let's
Come
go.
on,
Let's
y'all.
go. Do it.
I can't hear y'all. What's wrong? You better
Let's
unmute.
go.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Let's
King Bruce,
Let's
let's
go.
go. That's what I'm
Yes,
talking
Let's
about.
let's
go,
Sunshine,
y'all.
let's
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
crew.
Let's go,
Let's
family.
go. Let's go.
Go,
Do it.
fam.
Let's do it.
Be
Let's
with
do it.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. King Bruce had to come in here and set it off. That's
Get
what
it.
I'm talking about. I'm so mad I didn't get a chance to meet you. You've been coming out to these ATL meetups. Sunshine been under the weather. You know, I'm getting it together though. I'm coming out. I'm gonna meet you soon, King. But
Hey,
I'm
we
glad.
felt your energy though, Sunshine.
Hey, I'm always with y'all. I love y'all to life. Always, always. It's been different to not be at a meetup. I don't think I've missed any since we've had them in ATL. So that's been real different for me. But you know, you got to learn to sit down when it's time to sit down. And I had to sit down, completely sit down on this one. But so real quick, y'all, let's start off with some wins. How y'all been doing? Let's talk about how y'all been doing. So these Sunday calls are not like your Tuesday and Thursday calls. Your Tuesday and Thursday calls are straight about that business, giving you all the information as far as getting to the bag. Y'all know that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning calls, that was all about your mindset. These Sunday calls is all about you. It's about a different aspect that people don't really think about that we have to deal with as far as moving to our future and different things that could possibly be blocking us and holds us from getting to the successes that we don't pay attention to. It's a lot more laid back on Sunday. So, you know, it's our wind down Sundays. It's different than the rest of, you know, the week, but it's very, very important that we spend time tapping into this aspect of us. So at this moment, I just want to know how y'all doing. How is everybody doing? We did have our last accountability call this past Friday. I don't know how many days we got. Anybody in here know how many days we have left with y'all? So this is up. Anybody been keeping count?
I think we had 14 on that last call. So Tuesday, I think we'll be down to what, maybe 10 or 12, somewhere in there.
I still remember y'all first day. It's flying. Like it's really, really flying by. I'm not ready. I don't know if y'all ready, but I'm not even ready for y'all to go. Shoot, I don't know. It's been a good thing, but tell me, like, talk to me, raise your virtual hand. What's been going on? How y'all feeling? Have anybody started making any plays yet? Have y'all made any progression? Are y'all taking great notes? Have y'all started having y'all one-on-one sessions? Has anybody had an alignment call? What have y'all been doing? Let's talk about what's been going on. Have y'all actually started implementing any of the stuff that you've been taught in any of this? Let's talk about it, family. Queen Ebony, come talk to me.
So I have not had an alignment call, but pretty much on the calls that we have for public speaking, I have been able to put some things that I learned on them calls in action. Today, instead of doing a virtual drive for deals, I actually went around and drove around for about 2 hours earlier today. I found about 10 properties in my area that look like they're distressed and could use some investments. So I got some leads going on there. I picked out my color scheme for my logo and got my name going, and I sent that over to King Reggie, who's going to be working on that. And then I've been working with Queen Keisha and Kamisha, and we just kind of been like brainstorming.
Absolutely. I love it. Y'all better show Queen Ebony some love. She's out here getting it done. Spending that time 2 hours out there driving around. I love it. And working on that logo and getting your color scheme, like all of that is very, very important. It's so important with the time that you have right now that you are actually going out here and executing. If you can, do something every single day. Every single day, look to do something, get something accomplished. That way, when your 40 days is up, you can actually look back in the very beginning I believe on day one, I told y'all about getting a journal and documenting this process as you was going along with different things that you took the time out to do. That part is so important. I hope some of you did it. I don't know. I know we're never going to get 100%, but documenting your journey towards your success and the things that you're trying to reach right now is so important. Show some love to Queen Ebony if you have not already. So, King David.
Sunshine, one more thing real quick. I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but they told us to stop watching TV. I don't remember what day it was, but I think I haven't watched TV in about 30 days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. I used to watch TV all the time too. Now my TV just puts me to sleep. Sometimes it's on for like the weather and stuff. It's like in the background somewhere. If like my kids, like if you hear right now, it's silent. You realize that you don't even have the time. When you get so intentional and so focused, TV is the last thing on your mind. And so before this environment, it really goes to show you how much time we were wasting on things that like was not serving us and was not allowing us to be our most productive selves. And how much are you getting done at this time now that you're not watching TV? And do you even miss it?
No, actually, I don't. I'd be too tired.
Absolutely. It's nothing to really miss. So that's what I'm talking about. You're focused and you're actually way more intentional with your time and what you're putting your time to. So you really don't have time to watch TV. I love it. Show the queen some love, family. King David, let's go. Come talk to me, King.
I've been able to kind of do a lot of things, but I'm gonna start with what you just said. Got my notebook, so the journal here is right here, so I'm taking notes. So that's something I do. Been able to also make some strategic partnerships. Randy, Bruce, got a chance to meet Malik at the meetup, so we're all talking about some future things and getting together. And then I ran a couple of the plays. I think I mentioned this on the call before. I was able to get 2 PenFed cards with 1 credit pull. I was talking with Randy last week, was able to get the Amex business credit card. They kept sending me offers, but I was like, I don't want to do it. So I just added that one. So this whole community that I've been part of, it's almost like pushing. Like when I saw Randy do it, I'm like, all right, I'm about to do some stuff too. And I'm going to show him like what's going on. And then he telling me what's going on. And then Bruce telling me some things. So it's kind of like we're starting to get that momentum and we're pushing each other to do different things. So that's kind of what's been going on. That's just the last, I guess Randy, Bruce, 7 days? Like 7, 8 days?
Imagine if y'all had started that in the beginning.
Pretty much, right. Yeah.
That's major. Like, first of all, let me make sure I got this straight. You said yourself, King David, we got King Randy, you got King Malik and King Bruce all in one group. Is that correct? I'm mute.
I met Malik at the meetup with a lot of other people, and so we've been talking. And then Bruce and I've been talking about some deals in Detroit. And then got a call with Randy this week as well. And Randy showed me some things and talked about some things he was doing. So we're all just kind of talking, kind of putting it all in the pot to see what we're gonna do.
Do y'all understand how powerful that is? Like, that's a powerhouse right there. Like, man, listen, the rest of y'all, I don't know about with y'all strategic partnerships and what y'all got going on and who y'all decided to pair up with. But that magic kingdom of 4 kings that they just sat up there and he just lined up, baby. Man,
Sunshine, I think I want to invade that. I'm gonna need to be a part of that. David, Bruce, Malik, and Randy.
boy,
I'm gonna
you
have to
trying
hit
to
y'all
add
up on
some
Telegram.
femininity. You trying to
Yeah.
add some femininity to that thing going on right there, right? I don't know, because I might have to jump in there myself. I don't know what you talk about, Queen Ebony. I'm like, we're gonna add some sunshine to that pot right there. That's powerful. I love it. I love the fact that, and so as you can see, these mogul meetups is major. King Randy, where you at? Where do you reside?
I'm down in Illinois. So I'm about, I'm closer to the Missouri border.
Okay. But and King David, you are out here as well? You're in
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta but I did
Okay.
reach out to Randy because I was in Chicago, and I was like, "Hey, we need to meet up." I don't know the proximity or whatever, but I was in Chicago, and he was further away. It was like a 4-hour drive, so we planning on linking up at another time too.
Okay. Okay. I love this. Pay attention to what's going on. These kings is getting it right. I absolutely love it. Did you have any more you wanted to share? Because that's powerful in itself, man. You had me adjust myself in my seat a few times. Like, that's a powerhouse. That's major right there. I love that. I absolutely love that.
No, it's no more.
Right. Y'all better show the King David some love. Look, he ain't have to drop no after that. When he done did that lineup, man, listen, no. Look, y'all better show that King some love because they about to do something. I promise you, I cannot wait to see what y'all put together because that's major. I absolutely love it. The place that you're running, the fact that you got your notebook and you come prepared. You said wasn't nobody gonna outwork you. I remember. So hey, I'm here for all of it. I want all of it. I love it. So keep doing your thing, King. Keep doing your thing. Come talk to me, King Bruce. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, a bunch of wins. David done said a few. You know, and just making that foreign entity in the places we're gonna do business, like that's why I'm a winning right now as far as just got that done. So the setup is in place, the registered agent is in place. So the formality is in place to get it done. So yeah, it's about the timing because some things going on this week and we're excited about it. So between that and meeting everybody at the meetup, Sunshine and you know, Coach Crew and Auntie Shaky, it was monumental. I'll say that. So that was a few wins we got so far, but I'm looking forward to the future. You know, it don't stop.
It doesn't. And do you see the difference in, like, you know, this is all cool, this whole virtual thing, but when you get to be in person and get that real love and get to bond and connect, you really get to feel the difference of what it means to literally have the same kind of conversation, but you get to feel like how genuine and authentic and the realness and the sincereness of everybody. And it's no fluff here. We are who we are. I mean, and it's real. And we could sit and talk for hours. Like, time flies by. Like 5 hours could go by and it could feel like 2 because you're literally just sitting and really building. And to be in a community where you all are just looking to build and elevate and everybody is looking to like help each other win, it's nothing like that. And so that's a major thing. So I'm glad to have y'all out here. So I look forward to meeting y'all. I'm excited. I can't wait to hug and love on y'all because that's the real thing. We do that for
Appreciate you, Sunshine. Glad your voice is back, by the way. We've been missing you.
Do you see it? It's not all the way back. She be cracking up a little bit, but it's coming back. So I'm just glad to be able to talk to y'all again. I missed y'all last week. That mess got me sick. I was working hard last week, but hey, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. So I appreciate you, King. Thank you so much. Y'all show King Bruce some love in the chat, family. We absolutely love it. King Malik, you was out in them streets too. I didn't get to meet you either. Let's talk about it. King, come talk to me.
Well, right now I'm at my nephew's birthday party. It's a lot of children, but
It's all right. It's all right. And you still with us. See, that commitment is major.
Same for wins. I've been the most intentional with the LLC I created 2 years ago within the last 30 days, and I've been in the last 2 years in a whole. I was David and Bruce were talking about earlier. I've been speaking with them a little bit, and you know, honestly, looking at how much David was putting in work in the Love Plus app actually inspired me to start working more on trying to get my LLC straight. So since I'm pretty much close to getting to the point of having funding other than my debt utilization and getting bookkeeping set up, sometime before the end of the year, I actually plan on linking up with them. Just see exactly what's going on. But I'd say I've been inspired the past 30 days.
I love it. I love it. Y'all show King Malik some love. And that's what it's all about. Like, you've had this LLC for 2 years, sat on it, wasn't doing much with it. But when you get in the right community, It shifts your mindset, it pushes you, it motivates you, and now you're getting all kinds of stuff done. I absolutely love it. And you're in a community that you don't even really have to go outside for anything. Any and everything you want basically is right here. We have so many people that do some of everything. I myself help structure LLCs people properly. I myself help people get funding. We have all kinds of people in this community that do everything. So everything you want, need, and desire is right here. I absolutely love it. Show the King Malik some love, family. King Randy, come talk to me, King.
Cool. How everybody doing?
Ooh.
So again, just a couple things I just want to throw out there. So to David's point, I think it's important that we take action. I mean, we learning a lot of things that's going on now. I think that you guys have been putting us in position to be very uncomfortable. I love that because there's a huge advantage to that. There's a lot of people that they don't like to be broken up in groups, you know, so there's a lot of breaking the ice that's going on right now. So I think that that's great. You guys are shaking some feathers, and I've noticed it, but it's good. Like everybody has to go through that phase. And again, to David's point, you know, taking a lot of notes. Again, I mean,
I'm
you
talking
know,
about, and this ain't
just having
10X,
everything ready
baby.
to go. You know, I mean, however you want to do it, whatever works, electronic notes. I mean, I always feel that some traditional ways still work. The tech ways still work too as well. But again, just positioning myself again, just getting back funding compliant with another business and you know, just opening up new partnerships and just being positive and just looking for new opportunities and taking action, you know, just taking massive action. I mean, a lot of times we can learn a lot of this and it's great. I think at some point, most of us have to understand at some point we do have to take action. So we got to move. I think that's the most important one. So a lot of times, don't worry about a lot of the kinks. Trust me, those kinks are iron itself out. Just take action. That's the most that I can say.
Execution is key, right? First of all, I love the fact that I don't know how many days has gone by, but you finally decided to come up here and talk to me. It took you a while, but thank you. Like you've been up there, but I love the fact that you finally decided to come from the back to the
Cool.
front. We had to wait for you a little bit, but you finally decided to come up
That's
here
okay.
and talk to
Yeah.
someone. That's what
That's
I'm talking
okay.
about. So I love
Appreciate
it. Now, the next thing is, first of all, y'all drop some love for the king for that. The next thing y'all need to drop some love for, did you see the front of his notebook though? It say 10X. What? That's what I'm talking about. Like you can't do, how can you not be in a mindset of execution to like on go all the time when everything that you're looking down at, when you look at that book, it says 10X this. Whatever I got right here, I 10X that. That mindset alone, like, is absolutely amazing. And then when you started off your conversation today, you started off talking about being uncomfortable and how we're putting you in places of being uncomfortable. And all that says is growth. Growth is uncomfortable, which means that you're doing nothing the entire time but growing. I love it, King Randy. So thank you. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. Thank you for blessing us with your knowledge, your gifts, your voice today. I so appreciate you. If you haven't already, make sure y'all show King Randy some love, please. So appreciate you. It was good to see you up here today.
Appreciate
Look,
it.
Bruce don't even know how to act back there. Look, he's like, yes, they don't
All
even
right.
know.
I appreciate
Let's
it.
go, Randy. Let's go.
Absolutely. We love it. Thank you so much, King. Appreciate
No
you. Anybody else? Anybody else before we get started? All right, y'all. Ooh, y'all done made my day already. Shoot. Oh, wait, who that? Somebody else got their hand up. Queen Klanja. Come talk to us, Klanja. How you doing, mama?
Hey guys. Oh, my
Hey,
camera a little dirty. Hold on. Hey,
what's
first
going
and
on?
foremost, it was good to see you guys at Invest Fest. I was so happy to
Yes,
make those
girl.
connections in person. I look a little crazy today, but it's okay.
No, you don't.
Yeah. So some things that in this past 30 days that I've been able to accomplish. For one, I manifested 20K in 1 month with my business.
Pause. because you just not gonna run through that. Everybody unmute. I don't know why she thought she was gonna run through that 20K and say anything else after that. That's the whole pause moment. Can everybody unmute, please? Let's go.
All right,
Yes,
Quandra.
thank you.
All right,
Yeah,
Claudia.
Oh,
See you too, lady. Let's
Queen,
go.
That was
Queen.
Congratulations.
Get it
Y'all.
started.
Let's go.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Because I don't know why you thought you was about to run through. Yeah, I just manifested 20K in my business this month. Like, wait, what? And then you was about to keep like, no,
I
no.
was about to keep going.
Right, no.
And then I finally have my well, I don't finally, but I invested in my first IUL. So I have an investment policy as well.
Yes.
And then I just started my home buying process. So my business is structured properly, waiting on my credit to get to where I need it to be, and then I'll start going after the funding, and then I want to get into real estate.
I mean, in how many days? How many days? Yeah.
Right.
Even been 30 days. We done got 20K, invested in her IUL, and started the home buying process. Execution. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who is that beautiful baby on your lap, King David? Oh my gosh. Y'all better show Queen Quandra some love. I absolutely love it. I don't even know what the end of this 40 days is going to look like for you, because this seems like if it's not a little bit past the halfway mark, I could only imagine, but you focused and you're aligned, and I'm excited. Like I told y'all in the beginning, I got these like wine glasses. I'm ready to toast it up to everybody. It's a beautiful thing to see y'all execute in the way that y'all are. So I look forward to seeing everybody reach their goals. And I know it's going to happen because y'all are actually out here doing the work. So I love it. Again, if y'all haven't, show the Queen some love. That's major. And congratulations, Queen. Congratulations. Anybody?
thank you again. Like 19T said, the investment just put that battery in my back. So I'm like more ambitious than I've been in a long time. So I was just super happy to see, like, I wrote some goals down before class started, and just to see that I've accomplished that stuff. So I feel good. Thank you guys again.
Absolutely. You should. Like, those are big, like, with the things that you mentioned, nothing was small. Like, and we got to celebrate everything from the small, the medium, the large, but everything you mentioned was on a big level. It's a big scale, and you knocking it down, and I love it. And so celebrate yourself. And I hope you're taking the time out to actually celebrate yourself. So I love it, Queen. Congratulations again. And I can't wait to see you on the other side of everything that you want, because you're about to have it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anybody else? Anything else they wanted to share? Okay, so like I was saying earlier, the last time we spoke, I believe we was talking about forgiveness and letting go. And I know, like I said before, a lot of y'all may not see, the value as much in the mindset calls and these Sunday calls, the way that you see, your Tuesday and Thursday information calls as far as running the plays. But the truth is that, even like these mindset calls, as far as like shifting your mind, and like these calls as far as dealing with the forgiveness and the letting go and the healing things, as far as your past hurts, you have to understand how much, if we don't deal with these aspects, like it's now in your present, and it will hold you back from achieving or keep you from like your success in your future. And so it is important that we actually deal with these different aspects that we may not want to. It's a lot easier to go structure your LLC. It's a lot easier to do the steps for getting funding. It's a lot easier to actually do the steps as far as getting your logo or creating an ebook. But it's so much harder when people are actually having you push yourself to work on yourself. we shy away and we run away from the aspects of working on ourselves. And I understand why, because it is the absolute hardest work to do. And looking at all of y'all in here, you know, it is like, it is not easy to work on yourself. And so we don't actually really understand how much of a hindrance it is when we don't. But what I want y'all to know is that this mentorship program is built for you to be successful. And so all bases have been covered here. So the research has actually been done, y'all, to provide you with everything we possibly could for you to obtain success, and not, you know, really just obtain it, but up here hitting keys, but not just to obtain it, but to maintain it. And that's very, very important. And so today I want to talk to y'all about a few different things, but I want you to know it's important that you understand that we're going to deal with some healing and how important it is to deal with unresolved wounds of your past and influence, and how it has how it influences your thoughts and behaviors of today. Can y'all see that? Raise your virtual hand if you can actually see how unresolved wounds of your past has the ability to influence your thoughts and behaviors of today. Agreed? And so what you need to know is that healing is a continuous journey that we must learn to basically just embrace it in order to truly be free and grow. Type "be free and grow" in the chat, family. Type "be free and grow" in the chat. And so when you're dealing with your past is crucial for your personal growth and for your emotional well-being. Your past experiences has the ability to shape like your perceptions, to influence your decisions, and to affect your relationships. Hold on, let me let somebody in. And so that's an emotional weight that you might be carrying unknowingly. Is there anybody in here that think that they could possibly be carrying around some emotional weight, or that you know? Is there anybody here right now that knows for sure that they're carrying around some emotional weight from their past? A lot of us do it unknowingly, but is there anybody in here right now that actually knows that they're carrying around weight from their past? If so, just raise your virtual hand. It's a real thing. I know I am. And it's something that we literally have to work on. And so understand again that like that healing, it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's a continuous thing. Healing is a journey, not a destination. Put that in the chat, family. I want y'all to write that out for yourself. Healing is a journey, not a destination. Your healing is an ongoing process, family. It entails like your own self-discovery. It involves self-acceptance and learning to let go of emotional baggage. That's one of the hardest things to do. Sometimes we don't recognize we're doing it, especially in relationships. If you have your camera on, you can raise your hand. If you don't have your camera on, you can put up your virtual hand. But how many of us have bought into our present relationships or other relationships, baggage from previous relationships We might have been in a situation and certain things happened in our past relationship, but we have brought whatever took place back there into our current relationship. Anybody ever do that before? I know I did. Anybody ever do that? That's a real thing until you learn to literally, I know one thing that I've had to learn how to do is give yourself the space in between. You need time for yourself in between your next relationship to work on yourself. And a lot of times we don't give ourselves that grace, that time period in between from one relationship to another. You really need time to just sit within yourself and deal with, the loss of that relationship and anything that you need to undo and just deal. We don't take the time out to work on ourselves like we need to. And so it's a lot easier to bring on other baggage when we go from one relationship into the next, because we haven't taken that time out to really deal with ourselves the way that we need to. And so, that's where you start to learn how your past experiences can have such a profound impact on your present. And it does across the board, not just relationships, but in every other aspect. We know that when our relationships are doing great, everything else seems to be doing great. Work is fine. Everything that we're trying to do is beautiful. When our relationships is not good, everything else don't seem to be good. Work is aggravating. Like everything else seems to be just like a pain an hour behind. So it is so major to really, really do the work and make sure that we are showing up as our best selves so that we can actually attract what we need into our life, and so that we could have the best possible relationships and with our significant others, and not just with our significant others, but in every other relationship in our life, parents, siblings, every other aspect, because every relationship does matter. And so it's important, again, that we do that work. That healing work is very, very important. And so unresolved emotions from our past can resurface like in all kinds of different various forms that affect your mental and emotional well-being. And so you have to know that a lot of the times, and I think sometimes it might be harder for the men, maybe y'all could let me know, y'all don't feel like y'all have a safe space, or you really don't feel comfortable talking about that. This is something that, we've prided ourselves on providing here. You may have heard of the Love Overflow from the accountability calls. And it was a time where after we actually did our work with the accountability calls, we would extend the call out to actually deal with certain things that people were dealing with while they were on their journey to focus on the goals that they were trying to meet. And people really didn't have anywhere to really just that safe space to really unpackage some of the things that they were dealing with, especially it was different when you're amongst a community that does nothing but love and support you no matter what, without any judgment. And so here, that is something that we pride ourselves on across the board. There's nothing that we don't talk about with each other here. And we always provide that safe space here. And so we can do that on this call, or you have the option to book the one-on-one calls. But we want y'all to know that please don't hold on to this stuff. Don't hold it in. Literally take the time out to work on these matters, because it does make a difference as far as you moving forward in your journey. Hold on, we still got people coming in. So, has there ever been times in your life at any given time where no matter what you seem to do, no matter how much work you were doing, you just kept doing the things that you felt like you needed to do to get to wherever it is that you were trying to get to? And no matter what you did, it just seems like you couldn't get there. Like, why? Like, why no matter what I do, it just seems like I can't get to where I need to get to? If you've ever experienced that, raise your virtual hand. I just keep doing the work. I keep doing the work. I keep doing the work, but I just can't seem to get to where I want to get to in life. I know it's happened to me before. Anybody else where no matter what you see, like I'm doing the work. I'm working. Like, what else do I have to do? Like, I just keep doing all of this work, but no matter what I do, I just can't seem to get to where I want to go. And there's so many different times in our lives where no matter how much work we do, we still can't seem to get to the place we want to go. And you just keep questioning yourself. And a lot of times we have no idea that it's related to blockages from unhealed places that we haven't dealt with. We never stop to think that that is even an option. Like, we just always just think that it's just 1 + 1 = 2. And as long as I do this and this, I'm going to get this. But we really, really have to understand, and that's what these calls be about, that even when you do that work from Tuesday and Thursday, even with you doing the work from the mindset calls, that if you literally don't take the time out to forgive, to let go, to heal, to clean your heart, and to move with pure intentions, you will find yourself not being able to get to the places that you really want to get to. Because all of that matters. It's a weight. It's a weight that you're carrying. If you keep trying to elevate, but you have different weights tied to you from different things, from not being able to forgive, from not being able to let go, from not healing, from not moving with pure intentions, from not having a clean heart, you'll never be able to rise to the occasion the way you need to, because we haven't dealt with certain things that we really need to be dealing with. And so I need y'all to understand that it is so important that we unpack that. And so I want to open the floor now to anybody who wants to share anything, wants to speak about anything at all, because it is so important that you realize you could actually just speak on the healing process or anything that you may have noticed. You may have noticed that you've healed from something and it may have had a profound effect, and you see the difference in yourself from when you did this to this. Anything that you want to touch on at all. Has anybody decided to forgive somebody and realize the impact that it had? Has anybody let go of something and realized the impact that it had? Or do you have some things that you feel like you need to do in order to help you get to the next place in your life? Because when you make these type of investments, family, you have to do this work as well. Don't keep investing in yourself to do the work from the Tuesday and Wednesday to run the plays, and then don't do this self-work as well. Because at some point, it's going to affect your future. It's going to affect your present and your future. And so if you're going to take the time out to invest in yourself, if you're going to be running those plays, if you're trying to get to your highest, best self, if you really want to be extremely successful, we have to deal with these aspects as well. It's vital that we deal with these aspects of ourselves as well. Queen Naima, come talk to me, Queen.
Hey everyone. Wow, it's it's so much. That was a lot, and it was great. Thank you. So for me, let me just say, for me, what I realized with my past is I overextend and I help people, and I realized why I do it. Because I didn't get that help. Because somebody stepped on me and crushed me and dimmed my light. So by helping other people, I'm actually hurting myself. But it makes me, it helps me get through that process of not getting the help I needed, not being seen, not being heard, or just dealing with, just like the abuse that some of us have to deal with and go through. And what I realized is holding on to that anger and hating someone, it takes so much out of you. So much, and I didn't realize it until I let go. And I just forgave. And not for them, but for me. But simply, when we're children, we don't understand what it is to be a parent until we become parents. once you become a parent, then you understand, well, maybe, you know, they did the best that they could with the tools they were given. They, you know, and our parents, therapy was taboo. They weren't doing that, not in the Black community. A lot of them probably needed therapy, so they couldn't really give us what we needed, you know. So, yeah, for me, it's just forgiving people, but also leaving people where they at and letting people have the life they deserve to have, but just simply being intentional. Like, my intentions are always good. So everything, and this has been my thing for a while, like, I'm just gonna go into it with good intentions and love. And really quick, I'm gonna wrap it up because I don't want to be too long. So I I had to help a family member out, right? And it was supposed to be a removal. I turned that removal into, you know, an intervention, and then I turned it into a mediation, and I felt so good about that because now this person, they didn't get kicked out. I was able to bridge a gap between mother and child, you know. But for me, the biggest thing was just letting everybody know what my intentions were. My intentions were good. You know, I went into it with love. So for everybody that came and showed up that day, I was very firm, not rude, you know, but we not doing what we used to do back in the day. I need you to walk in here, and I need you to have an open mind and an open heart. Let's be understanding, because he's a young Black man. We don't know what they go through. You know, it's hard for them when they leave the house. So for me, that was like one of my breakthroughs actually, and it was a big win for me. It wasn't a financial win, but what it did to me right here, and oh God, man, I felt so good because now they've talked more than they've talked in a very long time. And that was something that I did, you know, and I was able to help someone instead of saying, yeah, we're gonna go and rah rah. No, we're not doing that. I can't. The space that I'm in, and I wanna say, you know, also the accountability class, it helps because it helps you put your life into a different perspective where you look at things and you look at people and you like, people are people. It's okay. But let's try something new. So for me, yeah, you know, I mean, honestly, that's also my superpower, helping people, because I didn't get that help, you know. So it's definitely a gift, but sometimes I see where people take advantage of it, or, you know, my cup be so dry and empty, and I'm still trying to pour, you know. So that's it. I'm gonna stop because I know other people gotta go. Because I'll keep going, but that's it.
Yes. Queen Naima, y'all show the queen some love. That was so impactful, everything you said, because I understand, like, the fact that you talked about your feeling, that feeling is like being so light and free. And I know what it's like to pour from an empty cup. That was my story for so long. It's a place of depletion. And I'm actually still working on that because I am a huge giver with a huge heart. And when you give so much, everybody is not like that. And I had to get to the point where I used to look at people like they were going to love the way I love. They were going to, I don't know, I guess give back or give me what I gave them, but that's not how it works. And so you get to a place of depletion. But one thing that I looked at for myself is when I look at everything that I created, pouring from a place of depletion. And I was like, wow, if I could do that from pouring from an empty cup, what could I create from me pouring from a full cup and only giving people from my overflow? I could only imagine what that would look like. And so I've now learned to start pouring into myself, because that's the one thing that I wasn't doing. I was pouring into everybody else, thinking that at some point they was going to pour into me. But it's learning to remove the expectation. When you learn to remove the expectation, family, it changes your life. And you have to learn to remove the expectation from everything. And it's not an easy thing to do. But when you start moving in alignment rather than expectation, it is a game changer that you could never imagine. Put that in the chat. Move from alignment, not expectation. It will change your entire life. I promise you. Free people from those expectations and save yourself from the disappointments. When you let go of expectations, you save yourself from the heartaches, from the disappointments, and everything else, family. So please show Queen Naima some love. Thank you so much for sharing with us this evening. And you know I love you to life. I'm so glad you blessed us with your presence this evening. Anybody else want to come talk to us and share anything in reference to what we are talking about this evening? Move from alignment, not expectation. Don't y'all be shy. We just talking. Come on and talk to me, King David.
I guess two things. One thing is the person y'all see today is not how I've always been. When I was younger, I think early 20s, mid 20s, my professional career was like up and down. My relationships with friends was up and down. My relationships with girls was up and down. And so one of the things when I look back and I started making my change, I took extreme ownership. The only person that was in all of those, I was the common denominator. So it let me know, you the problem, David. You need to change. And so once I started realizing that, it allowed me to make different decisions and take extreme ownership and make sure I don't make those same mistakes moving forward. The second thing is, this is probably, I guess over the last 3 months, I'm gonna use the word discernment and wisdom. It's key. I thought people would be courteous and respect my energy. So now I'm more discerning of where I put my energy and who I allow around my energy so that I don't waste my energy, so that it's not being focused on things that don't grow or do anything, and utilizing wisdom. Everybody is not supposed to be in your energy or be around. And so just using that word discernment, it allows me to move with an intentionality that I didn't move with before.
Man, listen, y'all better show the king some love because he came in here talking. So before I even really touch on what I have to say to you about that, I want to ask you, because it's not easy. Like I said, this self-work is the hardest work that we will ever do. It's hard. It's harder than trying to reach that goal of success. It's harder than trying to get to your $1 million, your first million. That self-work is a beast. It's hard to face yourself. I would like to know, King, what actually prompted you, or what actually made you go within? Like, what prompted you? Because it's not easy. A lot of people, we shy away from that. We run from that aspect and we don't really do that self-work. So what actually made you decide to go within?
I started looking at the outcomes that I was getting. And if every outcome was different than what I desired, I was the problem. So once I realized I was the problem, and again, it's mindset. I was excited because I knew the quickest that I could change myself, I was the only one that could do that. So it ain't nothing to be fearful about. It's nothing to be scared about. I was anxious, like, what am I going to do different today to be a better David? And I was sharing different things, doing different things. This was, again, probably like 2010, 2011. Unemployment really shifted my mindset. It had me isolated from friends. That was like a 7-month ordeal. And I spent time working on my physical, working on my spiritual, working on my mental. And that's how the whole mindset shift changed. And then I started having different outcomes. And it just confirmed I was the problem all along.
That's some real stuff. Like, I absolutely love it. Y'all show the king some love, because this is when we really start getting to the real deal. And this is what this is all about. Like, understanding that working on ourselves, like, literally nobody needs you more than you. And it all starts and ends with you. Like, the life that you desire starts and ends with you. we got to just do the work. And so many of us run from it. And so the fact that you started talking about like setting those boundaries, hold on one second. The fact that you decided to start setting those proper boundaries for yourself. So many of us don't do that. We really don't take the time out to set proper boundaries for ourselves. And we don't like literally start dropping things by the wayside that no longer serve us. We allow ourselves to stay in things way too long that don't serve us. Jobs, relationships, and everything else. And I know I have, and it is definitely time that we become way more intentional. And that discernment that you talked about, oh my gosh, that is so, so major. And the fact that you were, that you have that, because there's so many people that, believe it or not, don't have it, that don't even know what discernment is, don't even know what that looks like. And so to be at a place where you can call it out and know what that looks like for you, and you're setting proper boundaries for yourself, I commend you, King. And so the fact that you did the work, and I'm quite sure, like you said, your life wasn't always what it is today. So you changed the game for yourself. And now you're on a journey of taking your life to another level. Now you're investing in yourself, and now you're making other moves. But it took you to become the man that you are today to start looking at other aspects. And now look at how you're building on the new foundation that you set for yourself. It's only up from here, King. I love it. So congratulations on doing that self-work. That's major. I applaud you in every way, King. Thank you for being that man right there, because we need more men to show up like you. So thank you. We appreciate you, King David. Show the King some love, family, if y'all haven't already. I love it. I love it. I love it. Queen Ebony, come talk to me, Queen.
So I want to talk about exposure. That what I found out for myself is that I started the journey and I started seeing results. And because the people around me wasn't conforming to what it is that I was doing, I fell off the bandwagon and decided to conform back to what was comfortable, instead of realizing that really wasn't what God was showing me. What he was actually showing me was exposure, that the people around me wasn't really for me. Instead of falling back off that bandwagon, he's saying, keep going, because I'm just showing you that they ain't been here. They've been riding with you, but they ain't really been riding with you. So it's like I'm back on it. And now when you don't come around, or you got something funny to say, it's just me looking, saying, oh, he just exposed you to me, that you're not really for me. And I don't know how else you can figure it out, but I'm not about to conform back to my ways and not getting results because you don't like what it is that I'm doing. So I learned that within myself, and now I just continue to do what I do. I don't worry about other people's problems. And I noticed that my phone don't ring that much because I'm not sitting here and I'm not gossiping, and I'm not worried about what they doing over there and what they doing over there. You calling to tell me, because I ain't got time for that. Okay. I'd be like, okay, so is we gonna keep on talking about other people's problems, or you want to talk about how we gonna go out here and get this money and we gonna do this and we gonna do this? Because if you ain't talking about that, then don't call me. I'm done. I'm done conforming back to what people want me to be, because they do not like my result. And that's it, is exposure. That's all it is. I'm no longer scared. I'm seeing, I'm in my word. He said, the longer you go in your word, the further I pull you away from that darkness. As you start getting that darkness and you get into the light, you're going to start seeing people come in, then they going to drop like flies, and you can't go back and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go back because I love him and I love her and it's comfortable and that's my girl. No, you my girl, but I'm going to love you while my light dimming over, getting brighter and brighter. I'm not going back to that. And I did that to myself last week. And I said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I stopped doing things because people wasn't happy with my result. But no, I'm pushing through. I'm doing it back again. I'm going back because I see the result. I see where he's taking me. I see people are coming up front. And all it is just exposure. It's just exposing that they not really for me. So if you ain't for me, then bye.
Bye. Everybody put in the chat, everybody can't go. Everybody can't go. Drop it in the chat. And while you dropping that in the chat, show Queen Ebony some love. Bye. Bye. Because you are learning to walk away from things that do not serve you, Queen. And yeah, we don't have time for that. Like you just don't have time. If you ain't got time to be watching TV, darling, you daggone sure ain't got time to be sitting on the phone talking about people. What I look like? I don't even turn my TV on no more. My electric bill going down. What I look like sitting on the phone with you talking about people? Like, you better stop playing with me. You better stop playing with me. I ain't got time for this foolishness. I love it, Queen. Learning to walk away from things that no longer serve you. And it honestly does not matter who it is, blood or not. It does not matter who it is. If you are not serving the purpose in my life and where I'm at right now, I'm sorry, but I just can't. And it's no love lost. It's never any love lost. You just got to understand that there's just no place for this in where I'm at in my life right now. And maybe as they elevate or work on themselves, at some point, maybe there will be again. Maybe. But I'm not here to work on changing you because I'm too busy changing me and trying to work on myself. That's your own personal journey. And so we got to understand it's okay to leave people where they at. Let them do their own thing. I'm not going to force you to see things my way, to be a part of my journey. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to do my work for me, to sit up there and align myself the way I need to be aligned. And as I put my goal in front of me, where it's at over here, if it's not in alignment with where I'm going, if it's on this side or this side, then I just can't deal with it. It just got to stay over there. As long as you are in my path to my success, to my goal, then we got this all day. But anything that's not in my alignment, it does not matter who it is. And when I say that, I mean that with all my heart. I did not speak to my biological father for 8 years. I mean this with all of my heart, because it just does not matter. Just because you helped create me does not give you the right to be disrespectful or harm me in any type of way. And so when you understand that, like, yo, I cannot allow this type of foolishness to be happening in my family. Like, I'm a wife, a mother. Like, what you did with me as a child was one thing, but I can't let you come into my house like causing this is crazy because you're my dad. No. And so there has to be that boundary, and they crossed it. And so for me, you just got to learn to sit up there and just be like, nah, buddy, this stop right here, partner. I have to put my foot down and say, this is not okay. And unfortunately, it took that. That's what it took. But I can honestly say that we have a relationship now because they had to understand, like, when you really decide that it's just, we're not playing those type of games, people have to now either step up to where you are to respect you and respect your boundaries, or just not be a part of your life no more. But either way, I'm gonna have my peace. You're not going to disturb my peace. My peace is priceless. And so at nobody's cost, mama, daddy, grandmama, anybody, it just don't even matter. It does not matter. My peace of mind is worth, it's priceless. And so whatever has to be removed in order for me to have that, I'm going to have that. And I'm not going to try to, like I said, like, I'm not going to disrespect you or, none of that. I'm just going to remove you from my space because I have to do what serves me and what keeps me happy, what brings my heart joy, and what allows me to have that peace. And that's across the board. I'm just starting, and people are either going to understand that or not understand it, but I can't be worried about that. And so, like I said, when you put people on notice, they notice. And they either going to rise to the occasion and do what they need to do to be a part of your life, or they just won't be. So Queen Ebony, I sure do appreciate you for that. Thank you, everybody. If you haven't, show the Queen some love. King Randy, 2 times in one day. Boy, what you trying to do to me? What is you trying to do to me? That's what
All
I'm
right.
talking about. Okay.
So there's a couple things you guys pointed out. There was some good information. I want to say that first. I think that I just got a few quick hitters real quick. So, I mean, I've seen plenty of people, you know, as they grow, they focus on changing people. And what I kind of learned is that, you know, just focus on influence, not the change. People are going to change on their own time. That's one of the things that I noticed about that. And also just a couple other things with self-control. I just learned how to respect your own time, you know, be respectful of other people's time, because if you don't learn how to respect your own time, it's going to be very difficult to be able to lead and respect other people's times, because you have to be mindful of your time first. And that's how you can kind of control things, mindful of it. There's also just being laser focused, know your limits, and also know when you're over leveraged. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen. There's a lot of great things we want to do. But again, you have to tell yourself, hey, what are my limits? Like, what do I need to be working on? What are my priorities? So there's just a couple of gems I just want to throw out there, in addition to what you guys already been throwing out there. So that's all I got. That's it.
Absolutely. We sure do appreciate you. Look, 2 times in one day, the king is coming in here dropping gems and everything.
Right.
Y'all better show King Randy some love. He ain't playing with us today. Thank
Appreciate
you
that.
so much. I really, really appreciate you. Show King Randy some love in the chat, family. I love it. I absolutely love it. Anybody else want to come up and share anything about our topic today? This was a lot. This healing journey, like I said, it is a lot. There's so many things that we need to heal from as far as our past is concerned. And some of us have no idea that we're carrying some of the luggage that we're carrying. And it gets exposed at different times in our life. As we're going along with this journey, sometimes life has a way of exposing things to us at some of the most unopportune times. And we're forced to deal with it then. But there are instances where many of us know that we are actually walking around with things that we know that we need to heal from. And if that is you, if there's anything that you know that you need to heal from right now, I just want to ask the question, have you started the process? And what steps are you taking? If you don't mind sharing. If you have started the process knowing that you need to heal from something right now, what steps are you taking to do so? Anybody? I hear them crickets. Come on, David. Anytime you're ready, King.
I'm not trying to heal from nothing now, but I have in the past. Do you want us to share, or are you talking currently, like right now?
No, you can share. Because you never know what you're helping somebody else with. So, sure, come on.
I was healed. I had to heal from certain things in regards to my childhood. My dad was a pastor. My mom was a pastor as well at a church. So I was a PK kid. And I was raised in a household from my mom's side of fear. And so I was raised very fearful. So all my life I was raised, don't do this, don't do that. And it was just a fear based, and that fear manifested in me. It stunted my growth in every area of my life, from elementary school to middle school to high school. Meanwhile, I was never coached on, well, if I have fear, how do you overcome it? And so I now have a 2-year-old daughter, and I'm literally having to teach her how to get over fear and things that we didn't teach her, that she's not seeing, but they're there. And then it started making me trigger. Nobody taught me how to do this. Like, why not? So then it created a frustration and an irritation, because I was like, if I should have learned, it should have been from you all, talking about my parents. So I kind of went to them and told them how I felt and what I was, how I felt about it. They were more like, David, just forgive. Go move on, forgive. And I was like, no, I'm going to forgive you, but we need to talk about this so that I could do this, get free for myself. And it's just been the greatest thing for me, because now I know how to teach my daughter how to overcome fears and get in the fear with her. So she sees me doing it. And now she knows I don't have to be fearful of this. I didn't get that privilege. So every day is a lesson that I'm able to teach my daughter on just being fearless about life and ask for help and do this. And so that was something that I had to overcome. And I was frustrated about it because I spent my whole life, like 20 something years, being taught to have fear about something, but not taught to how to overcome it.
That's major. So have you actually forgiven them?
Yeah, yeah, it's great. I mean, it's a great one. My dad was able to kind of realize, like, David, I didn't realize like we were supposed to teach you those things. I think somebody taught they did the best that they could. Um, and so, I had to accept that. And also he didn't realize where the fear was coming, because if my dad is at work, but I'm under my mom, because my mom was a stay-at-home mom, I'm around her. If the fear is being reinforced every day, no matter what they said, I was being taught unconsciously and consciously, this is how you respond to things. And so, we were able to talk about it. They, apologized. And I wasn't even asking for an apology, but it was an apology. They understand. And now they see me doing it with my daughter in a way that they didn't do. So
Absolutely. That's so major because, we do have to understand that our parents can only parent us in the best way that they know how. All of us that have children know and understand that there is no guide, there's no manual, there's no pamphlet that we could scroll to the page to how to teach to not be fearful. Like there's no guide. And so all we have to go on is kind of how we were raised. And, neither one of them may have been shown how to not have fear. And so to be able to teach that to you, it would have been completely oblivious to them. How do I do that when I've never been shown that myself? But I'm so glad that I hate the fact that you had to go through that for 20 years. The blessing that came out of that, though, was the fact that now you get to instill your daughter into being so fearless, and now get to actually take that to your parents and speak to them about it and have a real conversation and mend that aspect of your past, but create this young, beautiful queen that is going to grow up, and she has this dad to support her in a way that she would have never had you not experienced that. So even though that was a difficult time, it was still such a blessing because your daughter gets to have this beautiful blessing of having this dad and to grow up to be so fearless because you're an amazing person. So King, it's like a win-win across the board. So again, thank you for sharing that. And that's the beautiful thing. Because I don't think many of us, I don't know if any of us actually been taught in here how to not have any fear. That's just really not something that I think, especially in our community, that we're taught. There's so many things that we're taught. Like one of my biggest issues, something that I speak to young girls about all the time, is that self-love aspect. We're losing our young girls at an early age just because nobody knows how to love themselves genuinely and authentically. And so, but again, who's teaching that in the household? There's so many households that don't have both parents, or you growing up with like a single mom or a single dad. And we're so focused. If you think about how we grow up, so many of us are focused on getting the bills paid. All we're trying to do is provide that roof and provide whatever we can for our children, but we're not really taking the time out to think about the time that we spend, the quality time, and what we're instilling in our children. We're so busy focused on, we heard our parents always talking about paying the bills, and they was always trying to make sure that they provided, but how much was actually instilled in us in a way that, could have really raised us to be like on a whole nother level from a young age. That's something that a lot of us had to learn on our own. But I think that as we got it, we get to instill it in our children differently. And so that's the beautiful blessing that comes from this now, is that we get to change the trajectory of, our family. And so it turns out to be a blessing. So again, thank you for sharing, King. I appreciate you. Show King David some love, family. Appreciate you so much, King. My man, King Bruce, come talk to me.
Outside dog barking next door, so I apologize. But, but yeah, you know, as they was talking, I was thinking about my story, where I come from, blue collar, born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Dad was 30 years General Motors, mom 30 years Detroit Police Department. So a lot of structure was there. Dad was in the military, World War II, veteran and all that. So, a lot of it was blaming them, as far as once I found out about Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I started figuring out, okay, different ways to get paid other than us going to get it. It just really opened my eyes. So I kind of blamed them at first, and then I was just like, you know what? They did the best they could. They didn't know. And a lot of it is being grateful, waking up, being grateful, learning that you do have another chance to get it right. You do have another chance to be prosperous. And it just starts with us. It's a mindset. That's why we going over this, and Coach Crew talk about it all the time. It's all mental. And I think that's the hump. If we can get over that mental side, we can do the physical work that it's going to take. So just being grateful, and knowing where you come from, and knowing that we have an opportunity of a lifetime just here on earth. Like, this is amazing time. We're all here to witness it. We cannot take it for granted. So that's the part I always think about, and it brings me happiness, and I just forget about all the other bad stuff that's happening, or anybody else that don't get it, so to speak. It's their loss, so they'll catch back up, but at the same time, it's up to us to make the trail blaze. So that's my thoughts, Sunshine.
I absolutely love it, because that's that's one of the lessons, is gratitude, that we don't actually deal with gratitude enough. We are not walking around in that attitude of gratitude the way we should. So you hit something real profound for me. I love it. I absolutely love it. Y'all better show King Bruce some love in the chat, family, because that's major. That gratitude, man, that is such a profound way to live your life. And it doesn't matter how bad of a day you may have had, what could be going on in your life, any of the losses that we've taken. For all of us right now, every day above ground is a good day. And we take so much for granted. Yes, there's life things that's taking place that stress us out and we get frustrated. But at the end of the day, we have so much to be grateful for that we take for granted. I couldn't speak a couple of days ago. I am talking again. There was a time when I was hospitalized from COVID because I couldn't even breathe. Like, the fact that we breathe the way that we do, I think so many of us take our breath for granted. Like, literally, we take our breath for granted, that all of us are walking around just breathing how we choose to breathe. But your air, your breath is so pertinent. Like, the minute you can't catch your breath, you start to realize how important your breath is. But when you're breathing regular, like, we just act like, it's just supposed to be and it's just there. But there's so much that we take for granted. And so gratitude and that sense of gratefulness is so major. And I definitely need us to really be intentional about, and I don't know if any of you do, but I have a gratitude journal. So there's a part of my day that at the end of the day for me, before I go to bed, it's important for me to write down, to focus my intention on, no matter what kind of day I've had, what I'm grateful for at this point. What am I grateful for today? Despite what kind of day I've had, at the end of the day, what are you grateful for? And so it always helps me bring things back to, because I've had some crazy days. We all do. But before you lay your head down, when you can, despite the kind of day, and sometimes what I've realized, and especially like if y'all are in relationships and you're in the middle of an argument or anything crazy, or you're frustrated with your kids or whatever, go grab your gratitude journal. Just stop yourself in the middle of whatever that heated moment, and take yourself into a state of gratitude. Like, despite this very moment and how I'm feeling and all this frustration, what am I grateful for? It will change so much when you stop in that very moment and just go write what you're grateful for. Because it's hard to really be upset and yelling and being all in the midst of this yucky feeling when you put your mind in a space of gratitude. It just kind of takes it all away. When you're sitting in your space of gratitude, all of what you might have been feeling right before that is gone. How can you stay in the same head? If you were in the same headspace after you just wrote about what you're grateful for, something wrong. Like something's real wrong with that picture. There's no in the world. You should be able to come out of that whole moment of gratitude of writing that and go right back into being in the same headspace. It shouldn't happen. So thank you. Thank you so much for bringing us to that, because that is such a major part of our life that we definitely need to be focusing on. I appreciate you for that, King. Thank you.
No problem. No problem.
Queen Ebony, talk to me, love.
So King Bruce and King David brought something up about our parents, and I didn't really come from a 2-parent family home, so I came from like a single mom home. And my dad was like in and out my life and addicted to drugs. But the one thing that I got over and started forgiving my parents for all the things that they didn't teach me growing up is that I started subtracting my age from their age. And I started realizing how old they were. And they were actually young adults. And then I think about myself and my children, and I'm a young adult. So am I teaching them the things that I should have been taught? I started teaching them the things that they should have been, my mother should have taught me. And I started talking to my kids about it because how can I judge them? They was young adults, right? A lot of our families that we experienced these things or went through some things, molestation and things of that nature, is because our parents were young. They were in their early 20s, 18, 20, trying to juggle life and work, just like we trying to do as young adults with kids. What they didn't know is that it wasn't okay to leave you with certain people because certain people just was wrong. But if you keep holding on to everything that they did as you was growing up, but don't recognize that, wait a minute, she was a young adult and maybe her mom didn't teach her. Maybe nobody never taught them. So it's good to, I'm glad, David, you had that conversation. You make me want to go have some conversations, with my mom, right? But I just really, how I explain it to my brothers, because they be so mad at my dad, I be like, if y'all subtract y'all age from his age, y'all will realize he was young. He ain't know what to do. He out here trying to figure it out, just like we trying to figure it out. And for me, it's like, okay, well, I didn't learn this and I didn't learn this. So then I try to learn this and I try to teach it to my kids now. I try to make sure that the things I didn't learn, I teach it to them, and hopefully they listen to me, because guess what? If they have kids at a young age and they don't know these things, and they're gonna be like, well, my mom never taught me that either. But then we got to start taking responsibility for the things that we didn't learn to try to educate ourselves and learn them now. That's why I'm big on education when it comes to anything. It doesn't matter if it's money. It doesn't matter if it's how to tie your shoes. Education is, we got to start teaching our kids the things, regardless if we learned them when we were younger or not, because that's the only way they're going to know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all show Queen Ebony some love in the chat. But again, you're right. So many of our parents were young adults. I know my parents were extremely young. And so a lot of our parents were young and they had no idea. They had no idea what to do or how to do it. And so it's important that we give them some grace and forgive them. It's not easy. But again, it's the removal, because we understand that so much of our upbringing has, that abandoned young girl turns into that abandoned young lady, that turns into that abandoned young woman. And so we start seeking like our relationships and all the rest of that has so much to do with how we were raised. And so it becomes so much harder to let that pain go because you track it all the way back. It starts to run really deep. But at the end of the day, they don't know what they don't know. And unfortunately, we have no control over who we are born into. And they did the best that they could with what they had, with what they knew. And we have to forgive them. And it's not for them, it's for you. It's to remove that weight off of you, free yourself from carrying that weight that doesn't even belong to you. That baggage don't belong to you. When y'all are at that airport, I done told y'all, when that trolley going around, y'all ain't picking up bags that don't belong to y'all. Y'all just looking for your bag. You just want your bag. In this life, don't pick up luggage that don't belong to you. Just carry your bag. And we got enough in our own bags to unpack. So forgive them. And I know, some of us on here may not have fully forgiven people in our past, but forgive them. Again, it's not for them, it's for you. And when you are making this type of investment into yourself to go to the next level, you're getting ready to sit up there and become the legacy builder of your family. You are leaving that legacy. You were the chosen one. And if you the chosen one, you got to do the hard work. It is the hardest for you. You were the chosen one, but then that means you have to be the forgiver. You have to let that go. Let it go, family, and forgive. Queen Ebony, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Queen. Queen Latifah, come talk to me, darling.
Peace, family. I was like doing so much, and then I was like really listening to like King David and Bruce and Ebony about like really having that conversation with our parents. So my dad have Alzheimer's, so I wasn't able to like have that conversation with him of how he raised me and our siblings. So it's like 7 of us, and we all have different moms. So he actually treated us all a little different. And growing up, my father was very hard on me. So asking for help was something that I wasn't raised to do. I was always raised to just make straight decisions or be perfect or come home with straight A's. And if I don't get straight A's, it's always an issue. So, or I had to be always on my books or always about school and not being about other activities around. So growing up, I always had to dim my light, dim who I am, dim my talents. And growing up, it was hard. And, when I had that call with Danielle, she told me to write a letter to him. So when I was writing that letter, I was like stating all the problems that me and my father had. And it was very emotional, but it was more of a relief on my chest. Like you said, that forgiveness is not for others, it's for us. It's for us to let go. And I had that opportunity to let go. Whereas my mom, we had that conversation. I was like, while growing up, you choose to always defend my dad and not listen to what I always have to say. And she told me, she's like, I wasn't raised by my dad and I didn't want you to lose that opportunity. So when I understood that and I really look back and I listen and I'm like, wow, okay, I can't be upset with my mom from the way she raised me because she thought that what she was doing was best for me. And as I got older, it's like our relationship have gone even stronger because we're able to like be open and to talk to each other. And like you said, I feel like I am the chosen one because it's like I'm the one who's going through all these, going over traumas, figuring everything out. And like I have to learn about forgiveness. And I feel like the more conversations that I have, I'm starting to see of what issues that my family we all went through and nobody was not able to talk about it. So now since I'm opening up and I'm seeing things from a different perspective, I'm the one not afraid to say anything. And it kind of gives a good comfortable space for my family. So I appreciate, being on this journey, on this healing journey. It really made me a better woman and made me to a better version of myself. And me being able to like talk to you guys about it without being emotional or without crying, that says a lot that I have healed, and I appreciate this call.
Absolutely. Y'all show the Queen Latifah some love in the chat. I absolutely love it. And as soon as you started talking about the stuff with your dad, I thought about that letter. I actually just had a one-on-one with someone, and I have them in the process of writing a letter to a parent themselves right now. And, you know, for anyone on this call, actually, you don't understand how much weight can be removed from writing a letter to a person that you need to forgive or need some form of healing. And you don't have to give the person the letter. You just have to write that letter so heartfelt. Excuse me 1 second, yeah. Excuse me. But y'all just have to make that letter so heartfelt. When I say pour your entire heart out, any and everything that you would have ever wanted or needed to say to them, you say it in that letter as if you were speaking to them. And at the very end of it, you can either choose to burn it. You could pray over it and bury it. There's so many different things spiritually you can do with that letter. If you ever wanted to give it to them, you could actually choose to give it to them as well. It's completely up to you. But the release that takes place from pouring your heart out from a letter that you entitled to the person that you need to forgive or heal anything with, and pouring all of that into that, pen and paper is still some of the most two powerful tools on this planet. Pen and paper. People keep talking about these phones and all the rest of this. A pen and paper is so powerful. They're not talking about manifestations on your phone. They're telling you to write things out. Pen and paper, speaking, writing is powerful. Write it out. And you will be surprised how much you're able to release just from letting that go on pen and from that pen and paper. And again, you don't have to give it to them, but you do need to release that. So I am so glad that you got to do that. That my sis Danielle had you do that exercise, because it is a major release, and I'm glad that you was able to experience that and get that. And it's such a big deal when we could talk about something and not be emotional about it. It's like, oh my gosh, I am growing, I am healing. It is such a big deal, because before certain topics, as soon as you think about it, it's like the tears is just like right there. And as soon as you start talking about it, it's just like you can't even control it. And so to get to that space when I could just talk about this and then don't feel nothing, girl, I know what you're talking about, and I absolutely love it. So I'm so proud of you. Keep doing that work. I absolutely love it. If you haven't already, please show Queen Latifah some love in the chat, family. Thank you for sharing with us, Queen. We appreciate you. Queen Naima, where you go? She was just up there. She left us, y'all. Where she go?
No, I'm here. So I'm multitasking. I'm being bullied by the littles. But for me, I think I hear a lot of what everyone is saying, and what I'm hearing is, we're just trying to do better. We're just trying to do better as people. We're trying not to make the same mistakes that our parents made with us, or we're just trying to give our children some of the things we didn't have. So for me, it's boundaries. I'm so big on boundaries and the power of no. And I've noticed people are very uncomfortable with that. And also, with my littles, they're allowed to say, hey, I don't want to hug today. Or, I don't want to be touched in that way, because we weren't allowed to tell adults no. We weren't allowed to set those boundaries. Yeah, so for me, that's it. That's just what I wanted to say. Like, I love boundaries and accountability. And a lot of people that I've been talking to, when we, depending on what we're talking about, and I'll, just tell them like, hey, that's a hard no for me. I don't, I may not like it, or, well, I hear what you're saying, but let's look at it this way, but it's just setting those boundaries. And one last thing, something that Ebony said, and it made so much sense, where people get upset when you don't want to do the old things you used to do because they're not looking at the new Ebony. They're looking at the old Ebony. She's not the same person she was 5 minutes ago. You know, but people want you to stay stuck right there. And it's like, oh, you think you're better than me, or they don't want you to do better than them, but it's not about them at all. It's simply just about you and growing. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. My liver's bullying me again.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. And you are so right. Y'all make sure y'all show Queen Naima some love in the chat. And, you know, it is the people that benefited. You talk about boundaries. People that benefited the most from you not having those boundaries are the ones that have a problem with you when you set them. And so that is such a big thing. Boundaries are major. I didn't, for a long time, I did not set boundaries. My childhood had me do things and that raised me to be a people pleaser because of so many things that I experienced as a young girl. And when you become that people pleaser, you can't be a people pleaser and have boundaries. There's no such thing. So it wasn't until later on in life that I really had to sit up there and readjust some things because I realized how much it was not working for me. And this is my life. And I had to really take control of my life. And when I started to readjust things in my life, boy, did it ruffle some feathers with some people. But it's okay. I'd rather your ruffles be feathered rather than my life be all out of whack. And so, you know, again, those boundaries is major. And so I'm so glad that you brought that up and actually have it where, you know and understand what those boundaries are. And I hope all of us here on this call, if you have not, figured out, how to set proper boundaries in your life, please, 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 please do so, because people will drag the hell out of you if you do not set proper boundaries in your life. Full of takers. We got a world full of takers. Everybody is out to get. And so if you don't set these proper boundaries, it's going to be very hard for you to live the life that you need to live for yourself. So please make sure you set those proper boundaries for yourself. Thank you, Queen, again, for sharing with us today. I appreciate you, love. Is there anybody else that wants to share anything? I love y'all in this call. I love the bonding. I love the connecting. I love the fact that we are allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and transparent. And that's what these Soul Food Sundays is all about. This right here. Because these calls is all a part of our growth, and it's all a part of your success, believe it or not. It's about cleaning up and clearing up the things and getting the knowledge that we need to do the work to help us really sit up there and get to that next level. It's all connected. All of it is connected. And so y'all have been absolutely amazing. Today was beautiful. I so appreciate y'all. I hope that y'all got everything that y'all needed out of this call today, and understanding, how much this healing process and this journey, how important it is. And who remembers what we started off with? What I told y'all to type in the beginning. Healing what? Healing is what, y'all? Y'all remember?
Journey, not a destination.
Healing is a journey, not a destination.
That's what I'm talking about. Healing is a journey, not a destination. Absolutely. That is so important. But make sure y'all remember that, because we will continuously be healing from something somewhere at some point. It is definitely a journey, not a destination. So y'all were amazing. If nobody else has anything, I thank y'all for joining me on this Sunday. Thank y'all again for being amazing. I love y'all to life. I can't believe I don't get to say I see y'all at 8:30 in the morning. Like, what? This is crazy. Wow. Yeah, so I guess we won't be seeing each other at 8:30 in the morning tomorrow. I guess we will see each other again on Tuesday. What is it? 8 o'clock? 9 o'clock? 8 o'clock? What o'clock, y'all? What time y'all got class on Tuesday?
9 p.m.
9
Eastern.
o'clock.
Okay. Let me tell y'all something. if y'all seen my schedule and seen how many classes I be in, y'all be like, wait a minute, this is a real schedule? Like, this is a whole real schedule. Yes, it is a whole real schedule. I be in so many classes, it'd be crazy. But yes, I will see y'all again on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Is there anybody that want to take us out in some beautiful affirmations after we talked about this major healing period today, that we all know we are on a journey to healing because it is not a destination? Who's coming to talk to us and taking us out with these affirmations this evening? Somebody, oh, King David, let's go, King. That's what I'm talking about.
So the first thing I'm gonna say is I am healed.
I am
I'm
healed.
healed.
Wait a minute.
Unmute.
Everybody unmute. Hold on. I still see a whole bunch of microphones. You don't have to have your camera on, but everybody needs to unmute, because you cannot repeat after King David with a muted mic.
Yeah.
Let's go, family. Let's go. I guess the rest of them might not be near their phone. So let's go. Come on, King David.
All right, we're gonna start off with saying I am healed.
I'm healed.
Healed.
I am restored.
I
I
am
am
restored.
restored.
I have forgiven.
I have
have
forgiven.
And that forgiveness will allow me to step into my alignment.
And that forgiveness will allow me
Allow me
to
to step
into
into
my alignment.
And as a result, I'm a mailbox millionaire.
As a result, Mailbox Millionaire. Let's go, family.
Let's go.
That's what I'm
Love
talking
it.
about. Yeah, baby.
All
I
right,
love it.
David. Go ahead, King.
I love it.
Thank you, Sunshine. This was great.
Y'all have an amazing
Go, fam.
rest of this Sunday. King David, thank you for blessing us with those affirmations. Y'all are powerful. Y'all are wonderful. Y'all are amazing. Go out here and keep doing what y'all doing. And I will see y'all again on Tuesday. You have a love-filled next couple of days. I love y'all to life. Have a great one, family.
Have a great one.
Love
See you all.
y'all.
Peace, everybody.